Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Krista with Corner Chiropractic and Laser Clinic, as well as Miss Dr. Mom. And today we're going to be talking about our mindset challenge. So our mindset challenge, it's a challenge that's all about changing the way we do family in order to create a lasting legacy for our kids. So today is day number 8. So I hope you guys watched all the way up to day number 7 yesterday. And today is really foundational. So this is super exciting. It's something that is actually has transformed my life. And it has transformed millions of lives around the globe. Now, so the underlying principle is this, is that we need to be able to give back to our community and to our people that come into contact with us and around us, not for their sakes, but for ours. So one of the foundational principles in the Bible is called tithing, and that's actually giving 10% of what you bring into your family to other people. Now, this tithing concept, I used to think, oh, it's like a money grab from the church. It's like, I used to think of it in such a negative way, but I recently did my own challenge, and it was with Dean Graziosi, and he talks about doing something for somebody today out of a feeling of gratitude and being able to give back to the community in gratitude. It doesn't affect it doesn't affect the person that you're giving it to. What it does is it changes something inside of you, that changes your mindset, that changes the way you function and operate today. So I want you guys to all do that. I'm going to give you a few examples of that. So my sister, a number of years ago, she started going to Tim Hortons, and when she was going to Tim Hortons, she decided to pay for the person behind her, just out of sense of gratefulness. We have been blessed with so many things in our lives, even little things. If you don't have a lot of money, you actually might have a lot of relationship. So we all have wealth in different ways, and we need to give our wealth and abundance out of sense of gratitude. We need to give it to other people for us, because it actually changes who we are fundamentally. I've had the first day I was doing this challenge, I had a really rough day. It seemed like everybody was against me because my mindset was in a terrible spot. So I started my morning with being overly stressed because I didn't get my morning routine done. I didn't eat early in the morning. And so when I got to lunchtime, I had to do this challenge, and the challenge was to give back to somebody today, something that I had out of gratitude and gratefulness. And I was kind of shy, I didn't want to tell my family that I was actually doing this, and which is really funny because, it's okay to give back to people. It's okay, and you need to be okay with, who you are in the inside. But for some reason, I was I didn't want anybody to know that I was doing this. But so what I did was I actually I thought to myself, I actually have to do something super simple, and I need to just get into the habit of doing this. And so I went through what my sister had gone through, and I went through the lineup at Timmy's, and I was like, I want to buy the car behind me. Now the car behind me, it was a coffee. He was the only guy in the car. So I was expecting to pay a lot more, but that's okay. I paid a $3 cup of coffee. But what does that do for the person behind you? And I had to think about, okay, what is this doing to me today? And what is this doing to the person behind me? The person behind me is expecting to pay. And then when he gets up to the cash, he's like, somebody paid for him and he didn't even know this person. So how profound of an effect will that have for the rest of the day? He's like, yeah, I'm important. I feel good for the rest of the day. Now for me, what it did was I was like, oh, I have to have gratitude for what's going on in my life. I have to be grateful, even if the day is horrendous. So no matter what happens throughout my day, I'm shy, I'm emotional, I'm stressed out. What it did for me was it put me in a mindset of hey, I got this. There's a lot of things to be upset about. There's a lot of things that I can be angry about, but I have an abundance in my life. And how great is that to just share a little bit of that abundance, just because it actually changes my state. It changes my state from being like angry, emotional, to being like grateful. And it puts me in a mindset where I'm like, I feel so blessed for the things that are in my life, just the little things. Now, if you watch, and I want to talk a little bit about what kids do, because kids are amazing when they do this stuff. Guys, kids have nothing. Like, anything they get is from you. And I realized, like, one time my daughter came home from the beach and she gave me this like stone, and she's like, "Here, Mom, I just love you. Here's a stone." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." Like, hey, thanks. Like, that's great. You know, you get this like little smile on your face. But when I look back to that moment, my daughter was giving me that little stone and saying, you know, I took the time to look, you know, think about you and how important you are in my life. I took the time to find a special pebble on the beach for you out of thousands of pebbles. She could have chose any one, but for some reason her little brain was drawn to that special pebble. Oh, I'm getting chills right now, guys. Yay! Anyway, she was drawn to this pebble, and it had a profound impact and meaning for her life. And I remember being a kid, feeling the same way. I had this pet rooster, and I know this is super funny, but I had a pet rooster, and when the rooster died, I was so devastated as a little kid, and I kind of didn't tell anybody, and I kind of hid it from everybody. But what I did was I actually went and I found like a little heart-shaped rock. And what I did for the next like 10 years is I actually kept that rock. I put it in one of my stuffed toys, because my one stuffed toy had a zipper and a pocket. And I put it in that pocket, and I carried it around with me for 10 years until I actually probably still have that pebble in my house right now. And when I look at it in that frame and say, how was I feeling in that moment as a kid? And what like gift is that my child just gave me? I am so blessed to have like a daughter or a kid in my life that is going to give me those things out of gratitude and out of their heart. Like, sometimes my daughter will draw me like a little picture of me, or she'll color something. And guys, I am so grateful, and you know, like, giving back to other people's really changed who I am, and just understanding where that person is coming from. They are giving back out of a sense of gratitude, out of a sense of abundance, out of a sense of like belonging. When you give to somebody and say, "Hey, I love you, and here is this gift," and you put that out in the world by doing things for random strangers, you are changing fundamentally who you are at your core, and you are creating a sense of abundance, a sense of gratefulness. And when the only state that you can get into that will trump any other state in your life, sadness, despair, depression, is a sense of gratitude. So whatever day you're having, I want you guys to go out and do something kind out of the gratefulness and gratitude in your heart for the things that you have around you. If you guys don't have a lot of financial 10% tithe like a church would do, you can do a 10% tithe of your time. You can do a 10% tithe of the wealth that you have in relationships. Some people are just like so gifted when it comes to connecting with people. That has meaning for somebody. That has a sense of purpose. I had a friend that I became really good friends with just because she cared enough to reach out to me. And I think that we should all be grateful for those little things in our lives, because again, it'll change your state. You want to live in a state that's not an emotional roller coaster. You want to live in a state of joy every single day when you get up in the morning. And this is one way where you can reach that peak state, peak performance. So I hope this, guys, has a profound impact on your life, because it's really changed mine. I want you to go and live with gratitude and give back to your community and environment, just because not for that person you're giving back to, but the reason why you do this is so that it can change who you are. So I hope this is helpful. Have a lovely rest of your day, guys. Oh, I can't stop it. Sorry, guys. This is so funny. So hang in there, guys. Oh, no.